with the ecliptic plane of the Milky Way in a way that is going to be potentially producing a huge amount of energy of unknown types, and we don't know what the effect is going to be on our planet. And if you look at from a very high-level Buckminster-Fuller resource analysis kind of view, you find some curious anomalies. The seed vault paid for by all these very wealthy individuals, 400 feet up above the current level of the sea with what look to be port facilities, as though they expect a 400-foot sea level rise. And then the idea of building inland in Canada all these mega towers for food production, and then you tie it in with things like chemtrails and the resource allocation hunts that are on now for very high-end strategic materials, as you note with China. The fact that we have China, India, and Japan out mapping the moon, especially the backside of it, all of these things combined say that there's a whole lot of people that know that the planet is facing crises at a level that will make our coming January crises that hit our particular populace here in the United States seem very small and tiny indeed. And we're going to be facing those crises in just a few number of years, probably 2 years.
2 years. The
2010.
The interest in mapping the moon is quite interesting. I don't know how many years ago it was that the U.S. Clementine project went up and did in fact map the moon, the entire moon, and that was a U.S. Navy project. So these folks are 20 years behind us in that regard, but there's something is certainly going on. We have so much in alternative energy that has been suppressed. Just as a general commentary, how much longer can they sit on this stuff? I mean, we literally can be running gasoline or petroleum burning engines on water right now. We could do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's here.
Yeah. The issue, too, is I don't think how long they can continue because it's already breaking down. We're seeing that, especially in our data, actually a curious thing that's going to rise up as a result of the global economic collapse will be a whole lot of people that will no longer be effectively bribed, if you will. People who know things, don't particularly like knowing what they know, would much rather spill their guts, but are held sway by the fact of money and threats. And I guess it takes both in order to keep these individuals quiet, because we're going to get a whole slew of whistleblowers here over the course of 2009, probably starting in late spring. I mean, almost to the point where you wouldn't be able to turn on the television for 5 different shows offering, different whistleblowers about this, that, and the other thing.
Well, this program will be more interesting than ever then.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be a good time to be in your line of work. Yeah.
That is interesting. All right, let's assume that the data's right. There's a relative landslide and absolutely clear-cut victory tomorrow. We will survive the next 4 years to 2012, but 2012 is not just a galactic kind of time of reckoning. There's more. I guess it all interfolds.
There's cycle within cycle within cycle, correct. At levels that at some point it becomes meaningless to continue to talk about them, but we're seeing some of them expressed, for instance, in the melting in the Antarctic and the shifting of the glaciers. And at the same time, we see the elite out there rather eagerly drooling over some of the stuff that's newly becoming exposed and spending a lot of money to go looking for something down there.
Absolutely. Mapping the Arctic out as North Pole, that's quickly as they
Antarctic
can.
The Antarctic. They're spending a rather...
There's a lot going down there that's relatively secret, too.
Yeah.
As you know, and many of you listening know as well. All right, so what kind of a winter are we going to have?
Well, if we're correct here, we may be moving into, on a climate level, into 2 seasons, in the sense that we may, over the next few years, get to the point where it's winter or summer, and that's about it. And the difference between the two may be hot and wet versus cold and wet. This current winter is going to be rather extreme for the Northeast, it looks like. Still showing up that way, still showing the need for excessive amounts of heat due to the inclement weather and the unseasonable conditions. Around here, lots of rain, and then, of course, our earthquakes, we think, in December 10, 11, and 12, we're due to get 2 very large earthquakes.
This hemisphere?
Antipodal. So if, for instance, if it's in Pakistan, then maybe Pakistan and the Northwest, or maybe the Pacific Northwest and Chile.
So it rattles right through the globe to the other side.
Correct.
Wow. All right, my friend, thank you for the visit. We'll see what happens in the next 4 weeks, and we'll be in touch in the meantime.
Sounds
My
like a
best,
deal.
yeah, my best to George, please.
Sure.
Okay, good night, Cliff.
Good night.
HalfPastHuman.com. And there you have it. All right, well, tomorrow, we shall see. We'll be back tomorrow night in 21 hours. In the meantime, we'll be on it as fast as we can, as always, at Rense.com. See you there.